Hey everybody, what's up? It is Sunday, and you know what that means. It means some football here with myself, Bucs McGee, and the man himself, the one, the only, Nutmeg 2 Palmetto. We are here to talk to you about Sunday's games, the best, the worst, and everything in between. Little extra news and some fun. So, Palmetto, cue our music.
Let's talk some hot takes we had, or maybe we just called the shots a little bit last week, wrapping up the games. I was a little, I guess we'll start with mine because I was a little hot under the collar, as I typically am.
Bitter. You were bitter and angry. That's what you were. And what happened? What happened, Palmetto? What happened?
You know what?
What did you do?
It felt like a victory Monday. It felt like a victory Monday after all.
That's a bad victory Monday, sir.
Ding dong, Frank is gone, and a fresh chapter begins in Indianapolis. Rest of the season, it's kind of a wash. We're slowly falling out of it by the bit. We're benching people. We're trading people. Everyone's hurt. Nobody wants to play. Frank Reich, out the door, brought in to replace him. A man near and dear to my heart, a Colts legend in his own right, former center and anchor of the offensive line, Jeff Saturday. And it was a little bit of an odd hire because he's never coached before. He's been on with the team as a special consultant, but he doesn't have any coaching to his resume. So, I mean, what do you think? It was the
high
start?
School. He's got some high school experience.
Yeah.
That goes far in the league nowadays. Think about it.
Right.
Way that offense is.
Hey, you know what? With a team that runs as much as we do or as much as we should, it might work. They run a lot in high school. What else do they do?
That's very true. Very true indeed.
Well, I don't know. I'm happy. I mean, this season cannot get any worse. So bringing back a beloved figure to just kind of take us off and see if a fresh voice can turn around the rest of this abysmal season, I'm all for it.
All right. I get what you're saying. But do you think it's almost like a cash grab kind of thing? It's like, okay, we're going to bring in Jeff Saturday. You know, everyone loves, honestly, Saturday was one of the best players on that O-line. If not, he is the most probably beloved other than Peyton. Let's be honest. Do you think it was kind of like, let's kind of keep the fans happy, engaged. We'll bring in Saturday, and then we'll just see what happens and hope for the best?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Like I said, the floor is already here. We've hit the floor.
I don't know. I think there's more to it. It wouldn't surprise me if they just brought him in just to kind of see what the team is, feel the guys out, and then next thing you know, he's named instead of coach GM, and then at that point, cleans house, and then they bring in whoever they want. I don't know. It's such an odd hire. I think there's more to it, but I could be wrong. But hey, if Irsay thinks this is going to do something, then hey, you own the team. All the power to you.
If you're right, I'm all for it too, because I want Ballard's head as well.
I don't think Ballard's been bad. I just think this was. I think they felt the team was better than it was, and felt that the one missing piece was a quarterback, which it was, but I don't think it was an aging, 38, 39-year-old quarterbacks. I figured they would have picked up somebody new, just went draft, but they went for the last second chance, and this is where they're at now.
Goes to show you, when you get to 38, 39, stick to YouTube.
Stick to YouTube. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Hopefully, maybe they catch lightning in a bottle, but it's going to be a very interesting offseason for Indy.
Full clean house. Let's go. Now, you also called your shot a little bit. Buffalo has had a rough 2 weeks. They got out big on Green Bay. They let them back in the game. Had there been an extra few minutes in that game, they might have blown that to the Packers. And then last week, they started out pretty decent against the Jets. The Jets crawled back in and smacked them right in the mouth. Allen scored a couple touchdowns on the ground, but overall didn't have a great game. And we were talking about it, and you said, you know what, if he's not careful, he's going to get hurt. Well, guess what? He's been banged up all week. He's day-to-day with his elbow. There might be some ligament damage. So I may have called Frank's head. You may have put the bad mojo on old Josh Allen.
Now, if this was a few years ago, then I wouldn't be taking credit or anything like that. Maybe like your pep in my step. I don't like to see anybody hurt. Let's put that out there. But this is one of those things where it's football. You just never know. So now he's got an elbow. They're saying it's day to day. We're gonna, it doesn't seem like it's too bad. But now you kind of gotta wonder. It's your franchise quarterback. It's his elbow. It's not like it's his non-throwing arm or anything like that. Do you have enough on the bench, quarterback wise, to say, okay, you know what, we're gonna sit you down for a game or so just to give you some rest? Can you afford to do that? I don't know if they can. I don't know if Matt Barkley's is Cooper Rush and can carry him for a game or two. It's gonna be interesting. I think this also plays into the run game. They have no run game. So it's not like they can say, okay, we're going to hand off the ball and, run it 30 times and we'll be okay. Hope the guy's all right, but this is going to be something to watch, because if that elbow lingers, it's not a good sign. Not a good sign for him.
Yeah, and maybe they're wishing we're a little more active trying to get McCaffrey or Kamara or some running back that was just rotting away on a terrible team.
Yeah, exactly. Because now, you've got like 3 or 4 running backs. None of them really are game breakers or can, I think, really handle a load, giving them the ball 20 times a game. And you can say, okay, you're going to be able to produce maybe a little play action off of that. I don't really think you can. So now you're just sending Diggs and the rest of those guys out there on an island with nobody to throw. I don't think Matt Barkley's the answer.
We'll get to more of the Bills in a second, but let's talk some games. There's 4 games on the schedule that I think are the most notable, one of which, of course, features your team going overseas for the Munich series or International series, whatever the NFL's calling it these days, and taking on your beloved Geno Smith this year.
Geno, second best quarterback in the league today.
Tampa is giving 3, so I think that's just probably a generic line given the fact that it's a neutral field. Based on what you've seen out of the Bucs this year, whether on tee or up close and personal with your season tickets, can they slow down Geno? and was last week's finish against the Rams from Brady, was that a blip on the radar, and is it going to go back to a little bit more? We don't know what to expect out of this team.
In a perfect world, anyone would say, all right, this is the game that, jump starts the offense now. And, you gave Brady 40 seconds. You had vintage Brady, and everything's going to be fine. There's still a lot of questions. The run game is horrible. So are you going to see the Bucs come out this week and just start throwing the ball all over the place? Now, if they start doing that first, and honestly, that's what they should do. I think they should be pass first and then let the run come. Because any of the games you've really watched of theirs, when they're in that quick offense, that no huddle, they can move the ball. It's just the drops have to stop and the mental mistakes. And, of course, that offensive line has to hold up. I think the offensive line can hold up against Seattle. I don't know if everyone on the secondary is going to be back this week for Tampa. I know Whitfield is still in protocol for concussion. I don't know if he's coming back. But I think they have enough pieces on the defense to disrupt what Geno does. It's just going to be whether the Bucs can build on what they did. That's what it comes down to. If they can throw the ball, they'll beat Seattle. But Geno will perform. He's got no fear. That team is believing in themselves, and I said this last week, that team can be a dangerous team. But I think Brady now understands that this is what has to happen. We're at Thanksgiving now. We're at the halfway point. If it's not now, it's never.
Yeah. So
the line kind of fits what I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a close game. But yeah, I think if Tampa's throwing the ball, Tampa's beating them. But Geno's gonna have some moments. Don't do Geno wrong.
One thing I've noticed from the international games this year, in years past, teams are affected by the travel, and they, to the point where we were always used to them getting the bye week after the international game, and that hasn't happened this year in either case. There really hasn't been a lot of struggle and poor play in these international games. Nobody's got a bye week the next week out. So I don't know. Maybe it's just a sign of the times as we go on in this life in advance, and the travel can be more quicker. Maybe it's not as, or maybe the coaches have wised up a little bit to giving their players proper rest before and after these games. Because these games have been good.
No, they really have, and they've kind of almost held true to form. Like the Giants Green Bay game. The Giants eked that out. It wasn't like Green Bay was coming in on fire and the Giants just got a lucky win. Green Bay was struggling and Giants were, this anomaly that everyone was talking about, and that's just one instance. The Bucs actually do have a bye week after this game, so I think they may be the first team. But at that point, it's still, like you said, the travel's better now. It's not like it was. How long have they been going over? 5-6 years or so? Teams, I think, have a better understanding of how to prep for it. They get there probably a little earlier now than they did before. It's kind of like when teams go from the East Coast to the West Coast. That's pretty much non-existent now. You pretty much can handle that. So I think teams have a better handle on how to prep the players, get them set to go. So I think it's going to be on a neutral field, who just prepares the best, is I think how that works.
Of course, the one to get the bye would be Tom Brady. Another favor from the league.
Favor? Come on. Really, a favor?
Hey, I've been a good boy. I've been a good boy in not saying anything negative about Tom the last few years. I'm allowed one step back into my old bitterness.
I can't handle it. He doesn't make the schedule. He plays the schedule.
Anyways, the 7-time Super Bowl champion. Speaking of the Super Bowl, and speaking of, as you said, this is the time of year to get going and really see who you are as a team. There's a couple matchups this week that are cross conference and very well could be potential Super Bowl previews. One of which would be the aforementioned Bills. Now, let's say Allen's in the lineup. They're hosting Minnesota. I've only been impressed by Minnesota this year because I'm used to not being impressed by Minnesota. I'm used to them just being a complete pile of disappointment year in and year out. And they have not been that this year, regardless of what their schedule is. So all things even, Allen Cousins, what do we think of this game? Could this be a Super Bowl matchup?
Of course, on the NFC side for sure. You know, the NFC is, besides Philly, and I don't know who else you put in that upper tier. Like, you could say Dallas, you could say possibly the Niners. So I can see the Vikings very well. The Vikings are playing as great as I've seen them ever play. The question is on Buffalo's side, is Allen gonna? If Allen's 100%, then yeah, this is a shootout. You know, Minnesota's defense is gonna get truly tested. I don't know what Allen's bringing to the table on Sunday if he plays. If he doesn't play, then it changes the whole game, changes everything. So if Allen's healthy, yep, I'd make it probably maybe my third or fourth possible Super Bowl matchup. If he's not, and he limps in at 70%, yeah, Minnesota should be able to do something, be able to move the ball. Now, like I said, Buffalo's defense is solid, but Minnesota's got offensive weapons and they can move the ball. So I'm excited. I don't know who I would pick. I really don't, because I just don't know where Allen's at. I don't know.
If he's not at 100%, is a less than 100% Allen still enough to keep it competitive, or Vikings just gonna roll?
It depends how bad the arm is. The guy's arm is strong as anything. But all it's gonna take is one wrong throw, one awkward throw. It takes a hit. You know, someone hits that arm, hits that elbow, and it's a lot worse. Do you risk that?
Right.
Do you really risk that? I don't know. If I feel that he's iffy, if he's not at least 85%, I'm saying no. You know what? We'll take the chance with Barkley. Let's work on the run game. I want to win, but you're thinking Super Bowl at this point. If you're Buffalo, it's not years past when you're like, we want to make the playoffs. You are thinking Super Bowl. And the one game against the Vikings, to risk that, I don't think is worth it.
No.
You know, yeah, your division's tough. There's no doubt about it. But if you can rest Allen in the game, there you go.
A lot tougher than they thought it was going to
be. Exactly. But I think this also is kind of a proving game for the Vikings in the sense that, okay, now we're on this serious stage. We're one of those elite teams now. So can we perform? Can we rise up to it? Because everyone knows, you know, primetime Vikings are horrible.
That's right.
You know, but the Vikings on at night, don't worry about it.
You'll win by 30.
Exactly. You're guaranteed. Put in Cooper Rush if you want. Put in whoever you want. You're good. You know, and I think, you know, there's been a lot of, you know, extra fun press with Kirk Cousins this week, you know, with the shirt off and the gold chains and stuff. Yeah, exactly. When Adam Schefter's over there mimicking you on, you know, Monday night, there's a problem. And I'm glad they're having fun and stuff, but he needs to come in on Sunday and perform. If he throws up a dud, they're going to be like, oh, same old Kirk.
Sorry, believe in your hype a little bit too much.
Yeah, exactly. Take them chains off, buddy.
The other potential Super Bowl matchup is in primetime and has a very odd line to it. The Niners are favored by 7 points at home against the Chargers. The Chargers have been up and down this year, but they haven't been bad. Can't say they've been bad. They've been inconsistent, yes, but they're still not terribly in a worse place compared to where the rest of the league is, or at least the rest of the AFC. So, like, I'm not sure what angle we want to go at this. Niners are coming off a bye. Debo's been hurt lately. CMC's been on fire since they got him. I don't know. Is this line justifiable? 7 points is a lot for two good teams.
The line, because of how LA's played, you don't know what LA you're gonna get. You just don't know. Like everyone was, and mind you, Justin Herbert, I love the kid. I think the kid has got talent beyond talent. But this is now the time where you've had those few years where it's like, okay, you get a pass. You didn't playoffs. You didn't do as well. You get the pass. Now it's you need to perform. I don't trust them enough because I just don't. They're inconsistent. The inconsistency is that bad where I just don't trust them. And Jimmy G, you just don't know. That man is good for 3 quarters, but that fourth quarter comes or something. He throws that pick, throws that weird ball that no one would ever throw, and just turns the game around. So, I guess if you had told me 4 or 5, I'd ride with that. 7, I think is a little much because Jimmy G is just I don't know. I don't believe in him, but he's got enough weapons where I think it masks what he does wrong.
Yeah.
But in a close game, and he has to be the person with the ball in his hands to make that play for you. I don't trust him.
So do you think? Because this was kind of like a, not necessarily prove yourself moment, but prove to the Niners that he still had something in the tank when they decided this was the year to switch to Trey. Do you think he has fallen short of proving to this franchise that he's still an A guy, an A quarterback?
If I was him, I wouldn't care what they think. Let's be honest. They wanted him gone. Trey got hurt. They came back to him and offered him a deal, and he wanted to play. No one wanted to touch him because he was still rehabbing the shoulder and everything like that. So for him, he probably thought, well, this is my prove-it year to show the other teams in the league that I'm still a quality starter. So to him, I think he's playing with house money. Of course he's not tanking or anything like that. It's not like he's like, I don't care. If he could come out of this with a Super Bowl and say, see you later, then San Fran's looking horrible. Let's be honest. People are going to be like, wow, you didn't believe in him? Let's be honest.
That would be the best FU.
Exactly. And then he'll go somewhere, make a boatload of money, and he literally could just be himself and average because he's got his ring. There you go. He proved San Fran wrong and said, all right, guys, see you later.
Do you think his play this year has backed up someone giving him that big money?
He's been solid. He's been solid. Now, I believe he's had a few games where he's thrown up some ducks. He's done a usual Jimmy G thing. But I also believe that they, with adding CMC, I think that helps him. That's one less thing that he really has to worry about. He has a true running back. Instead of the running back by committee, the Debo wide back phenomenon that, everybody loves. Now, and I've said this before, Debo can actually be a wide receiver again. Now, they still may use some of those plays. That's great. But at least the guy can be a wide receiver for the most part. And as long as CMC is healthy, then they're all dangerous.
Yeah.
And don't forget that defense is a top 5 defense. That defense is good. Those guys are good when healthy.
That very much so.
So
another Super Bowl contender until otherwise proven, the aforementioned Philadelphia Eagles, still undefeated at what's it up to now? 8-0? 8-0.
8-0, man.
Splitting it perfectly. 4-0 at home, 4-0 on the road. They are at home this week on Monday night against division rival Washington, giving a whopping 10.5 points. Certainly that's justified. Wentz has been out. Everybody sleeps on Heineke, but he can play a little bit, but he's still Taylor Heineke. The Eagles are rolling. Division rival. Can Washington be the team to finally slow Philadelphia down?
Philly's at home, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, that's not happening. That's no. I don't think they have enough. They don't. I like Tyler Heineke. I think the guy could play. I think in the right system he'd be a solid quarterback, top 15 quarterback possibly. There just aren't enough weapons. Run game is decent. Yeah, you got Scary Terry, but they just don't. I love Scary Terry. He's great. Scary. Oh, that's like the coolest thing when it's Scary Terry. Like, really, think about it. Marketing forever.
Yep.
But there's nothing to that defense, and they might keep it close for a quarter. I'll give you that. Maybe it would be like when Philly played the Texans, kind of, where it was close, and then all of a sudden they were like, all right, we're going to turn it on. But this also could be a trap game. Very well could be. I believe they should go in there and literally have no issue with Washington. I could be totally wrong, and next thing you know, Heineke leads some last-minute drive, and they end up winning by 3. Could happen. But I think this is one of the games where Philly needs to say, okay, we need to make sure we're dialed in. Because if you start believing your press,
yeah,
next thing you know, you're going to be 8-3 and wondering what's going on.
The most deflating part about believing your hype is when you're 14-0 with 2 weeks to go, and you're like, okay, let's rest starters now. Drop 2 games, and what happens in the first round? Get punched in the teeth. I saw that one too many times with the Colts.
It's all right, man. It's all right. Jeff Saturday's going to make it all better. But no, that's especially, you're on a roll like that. Everyone's telling you how great you are and this and that. I understand it, but you need to say, you know what? You can lose any moment. And if you're just not on it, Washington could be that team that just figures something out and boom. So I believe they'll win the game handily, but could be a trap game as well. But I'm taking Philly.
Yeah. The best of the rest, or maybe the worst of the rest.
The adequate yes. Of the rest.
There's quite a few lopsided games this week. There's a couple real duds. The duds, as I can handicap them, are Saints and Pittsburgh and Lions and Bears. Is there anything worth watching out of these 2 games?
All right, so let's start. Saints in Pittsburgh. They are in Pittsburgh, right?
Pittsburgh.
All right. No, I don't think there is. No.
Two forgotten franchises of yesteryear.
You mean of last year?
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Here's the thing. San Fran is in total flux. Pittsburgh, total flux. You traded Claypool. Pickett is your guy now. You're trying to figure out who you are. Watt, I don't believe is back yet. So the defense, still a decent defense, not horrible. They've got some guys on there, but they're trying to figure out who they are now. Najee Harris has been a disappointment this year. I don't know where he's been. If you have him on fantasy, I feel bad for you. But and then you have the Saints and the Red Rifle or the Red BB gun, whatever you want to call them.
The Red BB gun.
Whatever you want to call them. And that defense is not what it was last year. So I think at this point, the only team that has anything to play for are the Saints, and that's only because they play in the NFC South. And
which somehow can still be up for grabs for any of them.
4-5, division leaders, baby. So, they're 3-6. So if they win, they're 4-6, and they're still in it. And I believe the only thing that Pittsburgh's probably playing for is to try to keep, Tomlin's record of non-losing seasons alive, but I don't think that's going to happen this year.
No.
So I think you're just watching it for fantasy value.
That's right. And there's not too many fantasy options in that game.
Not really. If you're talking
Kamara, but Kamara is not the Kamara of old.
No, but they throw the ball enough. They throw the ball enough where he's going to get something. Taysom Hill might get you a little something. Olave. And that's about it. On Pittsburgh, nothing. There's nothing on offense. I don't know what you pick. And then who else we got next?
Lions and Bears. Anything out of this mess?
Dude, that game, honestly, that game sounds fun. I'm going to be honest. That game sounds fun. Let's be honest. Bears
are favored, but probably only because they're home.
Let's be honest. Fields had a hell of a game last week. You know, they actually let him do what he can do. I think you're going to start to see that offense morph a little bit. They're going to become a little more exciting to watch. The Lions are flying high, took down Aaron Rodgers. Those guys are living the dream. Living the dream. So if you asked me which game I'm going to watch, I would watch the Lions and the Bears.
I can respect it. Lions are exciting. They just can't stop anybody up until last week.
Yeah, they stopped Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. You put that on the board, boom. But I think I think that game just has a little more excitement to it. Like you said, Pittsburgh and New Orleans has been almost.
Yeah. Now the next one, going into this season, this should have been a real, pardon the expression, Titan matchup.
Oh, your favorite team?
Oh, yeah. Going into the season, this should have been a real dandy. And if you probably judged it a few weeks ago, it probably would have been real one-sided because that's right. Denver Broncos have been woefully disappointing this year. But now, today, Tennessee, off the last couple of weeks, with Tannehill out, Malik Willis is not exactly looked like he's quite ready for prime time yet. And this game, the Titans are only a 2-point favorite. With how bad Denver has been, how little respect are the Titans and Malik Willis getting to only be 2-point favorites?
I guess they believe in the Denver defense and how they may be able to stop Derrick Henry. That's the only thing I can think of. Because let's be honest, right now that offense is Derrick Henry. Now Willis has shown a couple flashes here and there, but it's way too early for him. That offense has really been modified to protect him. And watching that game against the Chiefs, he was taking some chances downfield, but it wasn't anything that was really going to cause them any harm. They're plays that are, pretty much geared towards, okay, if you're first, this is your read. If you can't make it, throw it away. So I think he's going to be a good quarterback in the league. I think he's got the talent, but yeah, 2 points is rough. Honestly, 4 or 5. I think Denver is. We know what Denver is, but this could be the game where Russ cooks.
When they finally break out.
He just throws for 350, 4 touchdowns, and all of a sudden he's turned it around. But I don't even want to watch that game. Like it's
it's ugly.
Honestly, that Titans defense, mind you, there's not a lot of big names on it, but those guys play good. Honestly, I don't see Denver winning this game. I can't. I think Denver is this is just a throwaway season, and then they just they try to figure out in the offseason what they're going to be. Because right now it's just confusing. All that talent, and they just can't figure it out. But yeah, your guys, the back end guys, the Titan back ends.
Titan back ends.
The game is not entertaining. If you got Derrick Henry on your fantasy team, watch it. It's exciting. After that, no. But yeah, 2 points is rough.
Complete opposite end of the spectrum. The Jags finally closed out a game last week over the hapless Raiders.
Sad.
And their reward for that is to go into Arrowhead, where the Chiefs are a big 9.5-point favorites. Now the Jags are not. Now the Jags, obviously they beat them, but they are not. They are not the Raiders. The Jags are. They've had some growing pains this year, especially with a new coach. But They're not the Jags role. They're not necessarily pushovers.
No,
I necessarily think they can win this game, but can they at least cover?
What's the points again?
9.5.
9.5.
As the old adage goes, good teams win, great teams cover.
Wow, 9.5. If it's the Chiefs last week, I don't know. Here's the thing. Like, Chiefs are talented, no doubt about it, but they're not the same Chiefs as last year before. And you saw it at the Titans game. You know, they pulled it out because all of a sudden their defense decided to let, Patrick run. And that's how they ended up beating them, really. Patrick's legs, which is very rare, weird to see. I think the Jags will make it entertaining. I don't know if they're 9.5. It's an Arrowhead, so you know what? Yeah, I think they'll cover it, but I think the Jags will stick around for a little bit. I think they will. I think what you'll see is still some disconnect in that Chiefs offense. I still don't think they're 100% on the same page, because it seems like one quarter they're hitting. It's unbelievable. Then they'll go a quarter and a half and look like I don't know what they're doing. Travis Kelce's throwing a helmet. He's bitter at the world. You don't know, but this year, yeah, I could say they'll cover it. Next year, though, nope. The Jags are going to be fierce next year. Watch out for the Jags, but yeah, Arrowhead, I say they cover.
Oddly enough, that quarter on, quarter off has up before last week had been the peril of the Jaguars this year. Phenomenal first and third quarters, absolutely abysmal in the second and fourth.
I don't know. They could walk in there, and the thing is this: if they walk in there and they play like they're not scared, like the mystique, it's Patrick Mahomes. Like if they walk in there and they're like, we don't care, then hey, all bets are off. But if they're like, oh man, it's the Chiefs, we just got to try to be decent, then yeah, the Chiefs will just Chiefs will mop them.
Two more lopsided games in the 1 o'clock hour. The Finns, 3.5 point favorites against the countdown watching Cleveland Browns, just waiting for Watson to come back.
3.5.
3.5 Dolphins favorite over Cleveland, and the New York Football Giants, the surprise of the year, 4.5 point favorites. I'm surprised this is that low because that 4.5 points is against Houston.
Ooh. All right, we'll do the Giants first. Well, let's be honest. No one believes in Danny Dimes. Let's be realistic here. No one does. They don't have any receivers. It's just a mess. It's a mess at receiver. You don't even know who he's throwing to. And you're hoping that Saquon doesn't get hurt while they run him into the ground. Because that's what's going to happen. They're going to run him into the ground, and it's just going to reaffirm that was the worst pick, one of their worst picks in their history. You picked him at number 2. So I could see why the line is low. They should win. They should win. But let's not forget this magic carpet ride they're on sooner or later has to end. And maybe this is it. Maybe somehow Lovie Smith figures it out for a week and they put together a game plan and they beat the Giants 21-19 or something like that. You never know. Some weird score. But
Pierce has been on fire. So if the Giants defense can't slow down Pierce, Houston could do well.
They could. They've got a serviceable quarterback. The quarterback isn't horrible. It's just, I don't even know if Brandon Cooks is playing. He's mad because he wants to leave. He didn't get traded, so he decided. So they didn't play him last week. So is he going to play? That's the thing. If he plays, I give him a shot. But if not, they got a lot of. They're like the Giants, hodgepodge at wide receiver. You don't know what you got. But yeah, if Pierce can, catch on fire, if he can go for $125, $130, they can beat the Giants. They can beat the Giants at their own game.
That's right.
Be realistic. It's almost like they're the same team in a way.
How much credence do you give to a player like that is just sourpuss? or is it like, listen, you're a professional. If you went out there and play, and if you're good at, and you're as good as you think you are, you might actually elevate this team to not be horrible.
I am of the thinking is you've got a contract. If we couldn't trade you, then you got to finish it off. What we'll do is talk in the off season. If you want out, then fine. But you at least finish what you started.
Right.
I think nowadays, and anyone will tell you this, athletes now have the ability to kind of dictate what they want to do, when they want to do it, and where they want to go. Because franchises don't want to be held hostage. So they're like, you know what, fine. We'll get you out of here. He should at least, should have at least played, finish off the season, and then you go from there. But if he's just going to be sourpuss, then you know what? Just sit at home. I'll pay you, but you're gone once the season's over. Boom, see you later. But then it's going to start to look bad on you.
Yeah.
Because you could have been a guy who helped these young receivers. Because they got a lot of young guys that maybe have some talent. But if you're going to sit there and just, me, I want to be out of here because I don't like what's happening. And yeah, Houston's a horrible situation. Let's be realistic. No one wants to go there. No one. Like, it was the worst franchise to be in now. Really is. Make the best of it. When you're ready, they can get you out of there, then go. So, the Giants will probably win, but it's going to be an ugly game. That's like, wow. I don't even know. I'm hoping there's some like Bob Ross, show, repeats or something. Because I don't want to watch that mess. Oh, Lord. It holds no fantasy value to anybody. Oh, maybe Saquon. Saquon is the only person you'd want to watch.
And Pierce.
Yeah, it's true. Pierce. And Pierce, yes.
Speaking of wide receivers, all this Cook talk. Dolphins have a lot of wide receivers of their own.
They got the best guys in the league.
Everyone's talking up Tyreek Hill breaking all the receiving records this year. They're given 3.5 points. It seems a little low going to the dog pound. Is there any reason to expect this to be close? Browns are really just watching the clock till Watson's back.
True. 3 points, yeah. This does seem kind of low.
Super trap.
No, Cleveland's got a solid defense. It's not like Cleveland has a horrible defense.
Right.
They've got Ward in the secondary. You got Garrett on the line. Like, they've got good guys. It's just that offense is stagnant. It's run or nothing because, Brissett isn't throwing for 250, 300 yards. He's going to manage that team and, do what maybe $150, maybe 200 at best. So, yeah, 3's kind of low. I would have said 6, maybe 6.5. Just because Cleveland has a decent defense. But, yeah, those guys in Miami, those guys are fast. That's scary. That's scariness right there. They should cover. I don't see why they don't. But maybe Miami hits a bump too. These are the games now where, like we said, you kind of see who you are, what you can do. Maybe Miami starts to falter a little bit. Maybe they believe they're, better than they are. Maybe the hunger isn't there. They got off to the quick start beginning of the season. Maybe they're believing it a little more. Some teams need to struggle for 3/4 of the season before you hit that streak and you just ride into the playoffs.
And I think they'd be back in first place if Minnesota were to beat Buffalo.
Yeah, I think you're right.
If Miami could take care of business and Minnesota whacks the Bills up there with Josh Allen on the mend, I think Miami would be in first place at 7-3.
It would be. They just need to make sure they protect Tua, because if Garrett can get a good hit on him, he might be out, and might be another couple weeks of Tua out, and whoever else is on that bench playing. So, no, Miami game.
Then we have to suffer through the Jets fans in first place.
Ian, sooner or later, things have to happen, Chase.
I know.
They say things come full circle. Well, the Jets won in 1969, so it took how many years for us to come maybe possibly full circle? 53 years?
Yeah.
Math is right. 53, 54. There you go. It took a little longer than normal.
Our entire generation's never seen it.
Never thought my children would see the Jets in first place.
Hey, the Colts had a little bit of full circle before our last Super Bowl win, and now we're right back to the opposite side of full circle. It went full figure 8, I guess.
It was like we just whatever. We're back at this point.
3-4 o'clock game. Speaking of the Colts, we're going out to Sin City, Vegas. Oh, this is insulting to me. Ugh.
If you're talking purely,
I don't even want to say this right now. This disgusts me to even say it. We are 6-point underdogs. 6-point underdogs to Vegas.
Wow. Well, honestly, if you look at the rosters, man, if you look at the rosters the way they are now, and if everyone was playing up to their potential, yes, you would say 6 is right on it. But they're not. You know, Devontae Adams can catch 130 yards and they still lose. So it's not like it's whoever's not going to make the most mistakes. Like, let's be honest here.
Yeah, I'd say if we can hold him to 130 yards, we might have a shot at winning. He might have 300.
320, 4 touchdowns. They lose by 1. Then at that point, you know, Carr's like, trade me. Then you're gonna hear Carr drop some words that you've never heard him say before. The choir boy will now start to talk a little dirty. Yeah. No. The Raiders are gonna cover. Because you got to pick your poison. You got to either stop Jacobs, stop the run game, or you stop the passing game. And they've got weapons, decent weapons on both sides. I don't think the Colts can do it. I don't think they can stop it. Plus, they can't put up points. Like,
and honestly, there's no reason for us to try. The only thing we need to do this year is just look like we're playing hard under Saturday. That's the only thing we need to do. I'm okay going full-on tank mode. It worked before. We're probably not going to beat out Carolina or who else is really bad? Who's the other really bad team?
Oh, man.
Pittsburgh?
But here's the thing. I don't think the guys on that team are going to do that. I think they've got enough pride where they're going to they want to win. You know, like, if you really want to tank, then just get traded, like, for real. That's like a lot of those guys are still young, so I just think it's a situation of they need a new voice. They have that voice, but is he the long-term voice? You know, a lot of people think this hire was way wrong, and a lot of people have issues with it coming from different points of view. If this is what you wanted to do, that's fine. But yeah, perfect example. Who's calling the plays there? It's the quarterback coach. So, and he's never plays before. So is he playing Madden the night before, and they're just gonna say, "Here you go"? Hey, man, it might work. I'm not gonna doubt it, man. You know, whip up some plays. There it is. But the Raiders have enough to beat them, man. It's gonna be like a 28-17. I'll give you like a 28-17. I'll give you 17 points. Carr throw a pick. They'll return something. They'll fumble. They'll make it respectable.
To me, they should just feed Deion Jackson. Just make him workhorse for the rest of the year. Taylor does not need to play anymore this year. Just feed Deion Jackson. The kid's proven he can put up yards. He can get in the end zone. And you traded Hines, so you need to showcase that you have a backup somehow. Especially with Taylor showing a little bit of chink in the armor.
No, exactly. No, he should be playing, but you can't bench Taylor for the year. It's not going to happen. Now, if you're telling me it's week 14,
well, it's not a benching. I just don't want him to get hurt.
But then at that point, yes, you're tanking, and you can't do that. You can't just say, "What are you going to put on the injury report? Hangnail? Stub toe?"
Hey, you know better than anybody. Tom Brady was on the injury report for freaking 17 years.
The man had a sore shoulder. You have a sore shoulder. You got through it. The man played. Dang nabbit. That shoulder still hurts holding that jewelry. That hurts. Give that man some respect. Tired of this.
I do. I'm just saying.
Hear this? It's not right, Tom. It's not right. Tom's in the corner. But no, I know what you're saying. But you can't do that to the fans, especially the ones who, paying their hard money. Because let's be realistic. You know how much it costs a boatload to go to a game. These people are coming in, and if this is your guy, he's healthy, you put him out there. And yeah, you don't want him to get hurt, but then you know what? Like you said, play the other kid. Maybe you decide to go two back, but at the same time, you don't know who your coach is going to be next year, so that offense may not even exist for them.
Right.
But yeah,
I'm not saying don't play hard. Just don't risk Taylor getting hurt.
So put him in for 5 plays and then sit him down. He gets the first carry and then he gets 4 at the end of the game. Kneel down.
Keep a starting streak intact or something. I don't know.
That's horrible. No, I know what you're saying. No, they should. They should balance out. They should balance it out. And then you know what? You got to see if Sam's the man. Like, you got to see if he's the guy. If he's not, then get your draft guys ready to pick the new number 1.
Right. He's definitely not, but I'm all for it, letting him sling it just to see.
Yeah. You know what? And if he's not going to be your guy, maybe some other team see something in him that the guy goes somewhere else. It's the right thing to do. A lot of teams do that now. If they think, okay, this is all I've got, but he's not going to be my guy in the future, let him sling it. Let him audition.
Next up, your favorite team to watch fail, Green Bay Packers, hosting quote unquote America's team, the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas is at a 5-point favorite on the road in Lambeau.
Wow, that's some disrespect. I'm going to be honest. Really, I understand it's Lambeau, but it's not Lambeau anymore. Let's be real. 5 points? No. That's
you want to be more? You think there should be more?
I think Dallas is going to win by. If you told me the line was 10 and a half, I'd take it. You're telling me that Dallas defense isn't going to feast on Aaron Rodgers?
Seeing what a much less capable defense in Detroit just did to him.
You know what? Here's the difference. Those guys in Detroit like their team. Let's be honest here. I don't care what those guys say. Those guys don't like Aaron Rodgers. Let's be honest. I don't think a lot of them do. But it's company guy. You play. You're not gonna bash him. But a lot of people are talking about his interview on Pat McAfee's show, how he basically didn't take really any responsibility for that loss. He should have been the first guy to say, you know what? I stunk the joint up. I was not where I was supposed to be. I let these guys down. That's what a leader does. Rodgers doesn't do that.
Allen did it. Allen did it after the Jets game.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
The perfect point. Rodgers thinks that it's everybody else's fault but his. He can do no wrong, and it's ridiculous. So this is where they're at now, and I hope Dallas puts them up by 10, 12. I hope it's a slaughter. I can't wait. I'm gonna have to go get me a Micah Parsons jersey. I don't care, man. I'm loving it.
I'm sure it's America's game of the week, so I'm sure it'll be front and center for the whole world to see.
Dallas could be 1-10, and it's still a game of the week because it's Dallas.
That's right.
We know this. But yeah, this is, unless all of a sudden Aaron has a come to the man upstairs moment and goes to his team and says, guys, I've been a total jerk. I love you, whatever you need me to do. And they all fall and hug it out. And and then they win it like the little Giants at the end of the game. Rah rah. No, Cowboys are gonna smack them silly. Dak won't. Dak will be Dak. He's not gonna be spectacular. Dak will be a quality game manager. Have a couple decent throws, whatever. Tony Pollard's gonna light them up, and there you go.
Entourage to Little Giants. You sure just span the globe on pop culture references.
You gotta do what you gotta do, man. When it's all floating around in there, you gotta just let it out. Because saying it to yourself so many times gets annoying. You gotta spit it out. Spit it out. Let it out. Icebox, man. Great player on that Little Giants.
Icebox.
Get Icebox. If you guys haven't seen that movie, watch it. It's a feel-good movie. It's a feel-good movie.
Speaking of the anti-feel-good games this year, the final 4:00 game, definitely call this one the Disappointment Bowl. NFC West basement matchup, Arizona Cardinals versus the Los Angeles Rams. Someone had to be the favorite in this. They couldn't just make it a pick'em. And the Rams don't even get 3 for being at home. Only 1.5-point favorites.
Well, here's the problem now. Stafford's in protocol, concussion protocol now. I don't even know who the backup is for the Rams.
Oh, I can see him if he's still there. If it's still the same guy, I can see him.
Well,
He started a few games during Goff's last year.
Oh, I remember.
His name started with a W?
Wolford or something?
Wolford or Wofford or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he may be starting on Sunday, so there you go. The future of the Rams right there. How are those draft picks looking? Oh, wait, you don't got none.
Because he had to have Jalen Ramsey.
That team is in such a mess right now. It wouldn't surprise me if guys start asking to get traded. That team is going to fall apart quick. That whole rah-rah, we won the Super Bowl, we love each other moment is gone. Jalen's talking mess, and when Jalen's upset and angry and hates the world, no one wants to be around.
Yeah.
Stafford is not what he used to be. Now he's falling apart. So now you're sitting there. Don't forget, I forgot Allen Robinson to save the day. Allen, another one. That game is. I'm taking Arizona, because I don't even think you're calling it upset. Both teams are hideous. Like, really? AJ Green's probably going to catch 2 touchdowns. It's going to be horrible. Like, really horrible.
Okay. We ran through all the games. Before we bid adieu to the crowd to enjoy some football, let's do some betting. Give me a 3-team parlay. And I'm taking Philadelphia off the board. I'm taking Kansas City off the board. I'm taking Vegas off the board.
Oh, man.
And I'm taking Miami off the board.
Oh, man. Wow. 3 G's. All right. Wow. What's the Dallas line?
Dallas line is 5.
Taking Dallas. Taking Big D. Wow, this is hurtful. This is hurtful. Oh, jeez. Ouch, man. This is bad. I'm taking Dallas. I'm taking Miami. And I'm going to Germany with my bratwurst, and I'm taking Tampa Tom. There it is, baby. There it is. And if you people take those and you lose, it's not my fault. Read the disclaimer under my screen right here. It says, I am not responsible for you betting your mortgage or your kid's college fund. But if you win, send me a coupon for some coffee at Starbucks. That's cool. It's fair. I'll take it. Who are you? Okay. All right, funny guy. Who are you taking?
I'm going to take the Cardinals. I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna take Houston.
Oh my God.
Don't bet your mortgage on this one.
My Lord.
And I don't think they'll win, but I'll take the Chargers to cover.
All right. Okay. You redeemed yourself. I'll take you that because before that, man, people were losing their homes. College funds were gone with those picks, bro. But no, okay.
Don't bet your kids' college fund. Only bet their naming rights.
Their naming rights. Nowadays, I don't know how much that's worth, but hey, do what you got to do.
That's fair.
Oh man, that's crazy. Yeah, it's a rough week.
Huh?
It's a rough week this week.
A little bit.
It is a rough week, so we just watch it because we love it.
Where do you think we will be standing at the end of today when all these Sunday games have the dust has settled on them? What's one bold take for the end of week 10?
One bold take. Wow. Bold take. The Aaron Rodgers era is over in Green Bay. Get ready, Jordan Love. Bring him in.
You think he's going to get benched? They're going to bench their
tell you
$200 million man or whatever the hell he's making.
Because you know what? You've got to see what you got in the future, because if he continues to stink it up, you get rid of him. Trade him. Get something for him. Why not? Some team will give you the moon and stars for Aaron Rodgers. Some team will be fooled by him. So why not? If he loses another 2 games, just put him on the bench. At that point, you've proven that he does not run the franchise. Because right now, let's be honest, if you were to ask who runs that franchise, it's Aaron Rodgers.
That's right.
Aaron Rodgers gets what he wants, and they're just like, yes, Aaron, yes, Aaron, yes, Aaron. Nope. Jordan Love, the countdown begins. Well, that and Tampa's back. But we're going with Aaron Rodgers, the first one. I don't want to be a homer. No, but yeah. I think that's one. The Rams. The Rams will be 3-7, and that's at this point there's gonna be more drama, and maybe you'll start to kind of see where OBJ may show up, because he's still out there, and their teams. Green Bay was one of the teams he mentioned about going. So if they lose this week. If I'm him, I'm not going to Green Bay. He may decide Dallas is the way to go.
That's actually probably a good place for him.
He doesn't have to be the number one.
No.
CeeDee Lamb's number one. He can be the nice number 2. Work himself into a nice, beautiful contract, and there you go.
Hey, and look how well being number 2 to Cooper Kupp worked out for him.
Yeah, exactly. Don't say that to Allen Robinson. That ain't working out.
I'm sorry, I forgot Allen. We have to preserve Allen Robinson's feelings.
No, we don't. But hey. But no, I think
for the sake of the brain trust at Yahoo Fantasy Sports, we do.
We gotta put some points on his name. But no, I think if Green Bay loses, you're really gonna start to hear let's see Jordan, let's see what we got. Time to look towards the future.
Do you think LaFleur has to make a decision that hot in order to keep his job?
No, not at all. I think he's done enough there in the last 4 years to buy himself some time. Because at this point, you can't blame it on him. I don't think you can. I think Aaron has just been bad. I think honestly he's been bad. He is not a guy who can make young guys better. I don't think he's sitting there after practice working with receivers I don't think that's his thing, and he throws everybody under the bus. Like I just don't. I don't think so. I think what would happen is, of course, they're not benching Rodgers, but you never know. But I also and kind of say, okay, well, we need to look to the future because if these guys don't progress and these receivers have not progressed at all, they really haven't. What is next year going to be? Free agents don't go to Green Bay. It's not a free agent destination. Not a lot of people want to go to Green Bay.
Yeah.
And you see what Aaron's putting out there. I wouldn't want to play with him. So I think LaFleur's okay, but I think they're going to sit there and say, okay, what do we want to do? And maybe now they put on their big boy pants and say, all right, Aaron, here's the deal. Put up or shut up.
I think Minnesota will pull the upset, as much as an upset as this game can be between two really good teams. And the Miami Dolphins will be in first place after today.
Ooh. All right.
I also think Deion Jackson will have 100 all-purpose yards, a couple touchdowns, and cover against the Raiders. There it is. I said it.
As Shane goes into the corner and says a couple prayers to the man upstairs.
And vehemently cries Sunday night as well.
Could happen. It could happen. Go ahead, Chase. Bet the house on that.
All right, my friend, how about we go watch some football?
That's what we do. Because what else wouldn't you do? Football. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us, friends. On Week 10 Sunday Scaries, I'm going to drop back.
So Brady-esque.